next week there's no One Piece chapter, but I think Oda deserves it after this unbelievable chapter. A lot of complaints because obviously the predictable outcome of Sanji and Pudding teaming up to make the cake. No Sanji and Pudding seen in this chapter, so I'm pretty much sure that after that we get from the break, we're going to see him again. So, and maybe even Sanji will get a fight, possibly against Daifuku. We're not too sure yet. Man, oh man, talk about going out in a blaze of glory. Actually, we can start off with the cover page. We actually see Sai and Baby 5 this time get ready for the wedding. Focuses around that part of the Grand Fleet now. So, I think next we see Ideo, possibly, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. So, we start off the chapter with pretty much, I guess, with Chopper and Brook captured with Perispero's candy, and it looks like he was about to transform them into candy with 3 minutes to go until that happens. So there's going to be an all-out battle for this because obviously they're not going to be changing the candy. So obviously you knew right there and then Luffy and the rest have to show up, and boy did they ever. All hell broke loose with Big Mom hot on their heels. So Jinbei came up with the idea of get on the ship, use the Cryptic Burst, and away from Big Mom. We can deal with the others, but we can't deal with Big Mom. To me, that looks like he's underestimating Katakuri a little bit. But I gotta appreciate Perispeро, despite how creepy he was, he did put in the work. So first off, he tried to make a Iron Maiden wall out of his candy, but Luffy just burst through that with Red Hawk. And by the way, Perispero was just bragging about his bounty as it's 700 mil. By the way, speaking of bounties, if you haven't heard yet, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have. It was revealed, I believe yesterday, that Sabo's bounty is at 602 mil. Now there's a split reaction to that. A lot of people think that's a little too low, and a lot of people say, "What did Sabo do to get 602 mil?" Because remember, that's higher Luffy, Law, and Ace by default. So I think the reason why people think it's too low is because we know for a fact after Wano that bounty is going to shoot up. Maybe even after Whole Cake Island, because like I said, you have Morgan's taking the picture, you have a member of Cypher Paul Zero in Stussy still around. We still haven't seen him yet, so I'm pretty much sure they're going to make the getaway. This news is going to reach Akainu at the Reverie. I've already made that prediction. I would bet Dunkin's to Donuts that's what's going to happen. So this was an all-out riot when it comes to this chapter. So obviously it's disappointing because Brook got captured and Chopper even after they made that epic speech. But it just goes to show you how useful Perispeро is. But Luffy just burst through that. You just burst through that wall with Red Hawk, the Iron Maiden wall. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I guess fire works against candy. So they're going to have to find a way around this. I'm pretty sure Katakuri's not dead. So because obviously we had the explosion by the end of the chapter. So and the Sunny's still okay. So I'm pretty sure they're all still on the Sunny. So oh man. So it could be a troll. You never know with Oda. So when it comes to Pedro. So at long last we get the lot, and this Red Hawk went straight for Katakuri, burst through the Iron Maiden wall, went straight for Katakuri. Katakuri with his Muchi Muchi no Mi collided with Luffy. I don't know if there's a collision of hockey there, but that was epic. So we get the second clash between Luffy and Katakuri, which we knew was going to happen, and something the carrot actually pointed out is Luffy, his abilities are similar to yours, which we already know, and now we know he's a Paramecia, so that makes it even more of an interesting fight. So, but man, one of the most hype things that Luffy did in this chapter was use Red Hawk, yes, but for the first time, use his Red Hawk Gatling. Now, personally, I would have loved to see this in Gear 4, but it proves that Luffy can still go. I don't know if he can still handle Katakuri, though, because he lost a lot of energy fighting Karaka, so I don't know, but that was still cool to see a Red Hawk Gatling for the first time. That's going to look awesome in the anime. I can't wait for that. So, and it's doing somewhat damage to Katakuri, but I mean, he could just repair himself, so that should be a problem. Meanwhile, Jinbei came up with the idea of using Coup de Burst. Perispeро blocked the cola machine, so you can't Coup de Burst without the cola. We know that. So, yeah, so that's going to be a problem. So either somebody's going to have to using the attack to melt the candy because we know fire can actually work now with what Luffy did. So, but man, the feels in this chapter, you can almost feel that something's going to have to happen to where it gives the Straw Hats some time. That's what they needed. You have Big Mom on the heels. It's like wedding cake, and you have Pedro like pretty much shaking like a leaf because he realizes that it's not going to take Big Mom long to figure out that he was lying about the wedding cake. So, and we know for a fact that at some point, Sanji and Pudding are going to appear with the cake. That's a fact. So that's probably what's going to calm her down before she ends up trouncing the Straw Hats. I don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the Yonko commanders. I don't think Katakuri's going anywhere personally. Pedro, I'm not too sure. Like I said, he was bragging about his bounty, but then Pedro with the dynamite looked like he's about to sacrifice himself. We've seen this before in One Piece, so until we see his corpse, I'm not too sure. But yeah, and just the feels of seeing the Straw Hats plus Carrot, seeing Pedro, it's like, yeah, he gave the same speech he said before when he said, your Straw Hats will be the mark of a new age, which we already know. So Pedro may be the first casualty or the first sacrifice of this arc. I don't think it's going to be the only one personally. So we still have some loose ends. We still have Pound. We still have the rest of the Vince Smoke. So that's going to have to play a factor at some point, possibly after the break. So we're heading for one hell of a finale with this arc. So I can't. This was an amazing chapter, like full of action, full of plot points, and it moved the story along to where it needed to be. Unfortunately, we have 2 weeks to wait until we find out possibly the finale of this arc. I don't see it lasting any longer than that because in October we are heading for Wano, and before then we need the Reverie. So yeah, so this was an amazing chapter. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think is going to happen next? And do you think Pedro is truly gone for good? So comment down below. Subscribe to the channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Bye.